Hello, peons. This is the final boss, and this is my Book Nook that I made with my bare hands. Here's how I did it.
Cutting bricks.
I used insulation foam to form bricks that would be the cobblestone street of my creation.
Alright, so now, cap the Pringles can, shake it up.
Shaking the bricks in a can filled with rocks adds weathering.
I will wear a mask at some point.
I should have worn a mask then.
I'll just get a few to kind of start with here. You can see what was in there.
Now I take all those bricks I just weathered and I glue them painstakingly, sufferingly on the board that will form the bottom of my Book Nook. And as you can see, I sped things up here because it's really, really boring. Also, while I never apologize for anything, I do apologize for the time-lapsed flickering lights. It is my editing software. Blame it for its hideous failure. So I make an adorable little ring for a tree to sit in later. And I add more bricks to my rock shaker thingy in order to begin building a spiral in the center. As you can obviously tell, I should have never been a writer. I should have been a gluer of bricks onto boards, but not just normal bricks, tiny bricks, little baby muffin bricks. And if you do notice, there is also quite a few Twitch chats coming in because this was originally streamed on the Final Boss's video channel. On the right side of the screen, you will notice a rock. No longer. That rock was used to continue weathering the bricks. I mushed it and smashed it against the board. Such is my power. So this wrapped up the floorboards, and so then I began on windows. And I didn't want merely flat, stupid windows. I wanted three-dimensional, sticky-outy windows that would give some depth to my Book Nook. Here I use CA glue to weld the windows together. Here I lay out the left side of my Book Nook, the left board. You can see my beautiful drawings, my mind expressed on this feeble craft thing that I will soon make manifest. This will shock you, but I do use more XPS foam. And I'm cutting it at an angle here in order to allow for a nice roof awning that I thought would be omega super cute. This is irresponsible use of a knife. Have a nice day. As you can see here, I attach my rough roof awning to the base using some high temperature glue. And from here I will begin laying out the remainder of the structure of this portion of this Book Nook. Using balsa wood, my ingenuity, and a vape pen, I forge what one could only call sheer brilliance in the form of little sticks of wood. And that's me measuring out the windows and making sure I don't make too many obvious blunders, but only kind of small ones that I can cover up with other things and distractible detailing. Just look at that door. Look well at that door. Notice its realism. And now that it's painted brown, it still is very realistic. So if you've watched those other craft tubers who discuss their crafts. This is black paint and Mod Podge that is used as the base layer. Thank you, Black Magic Craft. After laying out the colors in basic acrylic paints, I decided to add little highlights and little variants on the colors of the wood, and the colors of the tiles of the slanty roof. I don't know what that's called, tile, but doesn't matter. And from there, I begin dry brushing. You can see I've already done a little bit on the wood above, and this will add even more highlights and more complexity to what would otherwise be cardboard. So this portion tried my sanity. I probably should have added the plaster of Paris that would form the plaster parts of this before adding the highlights to the wood, so I wouldn't have to mask everything off. But I deserved the suffering. I deserved the torture. And so I tortured myself. Ah yes, there's me repainting everything, because even with the masking tape, I lost a lot of contrast. This might come as a shock to you, but after relaying down the base paint, I find myself having to re-highlight and retouch up, and essentially do this portion of the Book Nook twice. And so here I make the first of many washes, which is essentially acrylic paint, water, and some dish soap. And while I adjusted the plaster's colors a few more times, that wraps that side. So if you ever go to ancient England, you will find many stone turrets like this. And it's little known, but in the center of them all are rolls and rolls of XPS foam. So I must pay homage once again to Black Magic Craft, for here I use gap filler and a lot more masking tape to, well, fill the gaps of this turret. And then I filled in the color. Look, see the color. It is beautiful and varied, and the varied color makes it look more realistic than just using gray like a feeble, weak-minded, gray-only painter. And yes, I dry brushed and black washed or brown washed this portion of the diorama as well. So it turns out pouring resin looks way easier on YouTube videos than it is in real life. I first forged portions of the windows with a little tiny pointy knife, and then I laid some release tape stuff upon these plates. I did not film the pouring of the resin, but you can see on the right side there are some completed windows, and now I am reforging those little adorable little puffy windows. So this is it. This is the fun part. After blinding myself with these LEDs, I really do hope that this paid off. So I drill holes in the back of the back wall to add the lights beneath the windows, and I string them through like a graceful, amazing being that I am. And then I add an adorable little fence that I painted off camera because camera filming is hard. And soon I began adding foliage. Man, I really stay on this shot of my hand for a while. So in this detailing, I even weave together a clever and amazing little macrame Josephine knot, and I glue it onto the wall so it looks like this little place has been lived in. The rest of the foliage is affixed using Elmer's glue. With all the walls complete, I enveloped my delightful Book Nook with black Mod Podge, and my mama helped me put these final pieces together. While it may feel like mere moments to you, this took weeks, and so my satisfaction at seeing it so close to resolved was satisfactory. And in the words of a gentleman who resides above a boundary line, it's on to the glamour shots. Obviously, you watched till the end because I am amazing. Like and subscribe.